everybody, and welcome back to the Burrow. So today I have another, obviously, DIY for you. This is going to be an extremely cheap do-it-yourself enclosure. This is not something I recommend to permanently house anything in, although you could possibly get away with that if you are really on a budget. But what this is mostly for is you come home from an expo with something that's an arboreal and you really need a house for it now while you order something online because you weren't ready for it. Which, let's be honest, most of us go to expos, we're not ready for what we buy. We go there, we know about what we want, what we come home with, there's always something different. And if you need something to house something like right now, this is a good option until you can find something better. Or, it is summertime coming out now, especially around like where I am. So, spiders start coming out, maybe you find something really interesting you want to keep and you need something like now to house it in. This is another good option for that. Again, I would only do this kind of temporary, but if you have to, you have to. You know, everybody's got their own thing. There's no reason why you couldn't permanently house something in these. It's just, I don't know, not the best option in my opinion. First thing you're going to need is a tub. Now, this is a pretty small tub. I got it from the dollar store, like most of the things I get. But you can go with the same concept with anything much larger. So you're so far paying about $1, maybe up to $5 for a tub at the most. Then what you're going to need is tape. This is something most people have around the house, or you can also get this from the dollar store. So say it's another $1. So far we're up to like $2. Now you can use duct tape or a clear tape if you have a good one that you think will hold. This is optional, but you might want to glue. Same kind of concept for the other DIYs I did. If you want to glue the base on when we get done, I'll show you. It's not necessarily because these usually fit pretty well. And like I said, this is a temporary, not a permanent. If you're thinking of doing it more permanent, I would definitely consider using some sort of glue to hold the base on. Once again, you're going to need a ruler and a marker of some kind or a pen to mark a straight line. And then you're going to want something to make a hole. You can do drill bits, but on these plastic, it kind of worries me because it tends to crack if you use much pressure at all. If you are going to use a drill bit, take your time. Go slow. I will prefer to use my hot soldering iron, but once again, when you use a soldering iron, it puts off a lot of fumes, so do it in a well-ventilated area. And last thing you're going to need is some way to cut the lid along the line. Dremel tool or a utility knife, anything like that should work. Be very careful if you're using a utility knife, but we're going to get into that. So let's move this stuff aside, and we'll start off with the lid. What you're going to do is take the lid off, obviously. Now, if this comes with a sticker on the side like this one did, the best way to get that sticker off without any of the gunk sticking, hot water. Just take some hot water, really, really hot tap water, and pour it in just so it touches the side, and leave it there as you slowly pull it off, and it'll just peel right off. The heat takes the adhesive right off, and this one has there's no sticky, no mess at all. Came right off, no problem. So first thing you want to do is mark this where you want it. I'm not going to care all that much of this. I'm not going to go measuring it. I just want to make sure I get a pretty straight line. So I'm just going to eyeball it. Like I said, this is more of an emergency one, not something that I care too much about. And, okay, that looks about right to me. Okay. And that soldering iron heating up is making a bunch of smoke. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but wow. Just from that. So definitely make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. Now for this, just cut along that line. And he said if you are a minor, make sure you're getting your parents to help you with this, that kind of thing. I don't want anybody getting hurt and saying, oh, they learned it from me type of thing. Make sure you ask for permission before making anything like this. And with a good knife, it just should cut through real easy. There we go. Don't cut into your fingers. Careful. I do not have my thumb in the way. It might look like that in the video. There we go. Cut down there. go. Cut down. Okay, there's that. Now I just gotta cut the front. It's probably best to cut it. Okay, right there. Just however you feel comfortable cutting in the straightest line possible. If it's a hard plastic lid, definitely take your time. This is more of a rubber one. If you can get a rubbery one, that is best. Like I said, just like everything else, cut it. And then you put this on here. See, now this one's pretty loose. So I'm going to want to put that on with some glue. And I'm actually going to use the hot glue gun. Last time we used this in that last one, that was a mess. Okay, now while my glue gun is heating up, I'm actually just going to go ahead and put the holes in it. This is just like any other arboreal enclosure. You want to put a bunch of holes near the top and down the side. So this is going to be down here, so that's my top. And I just want to put holes. And with the soldering iron, I am capable of putting fairly small holes in. It does not have to go all the way through. It just has to make just enough for the hole to go through, but the hole's thickness of the soldering iron does not have to go through. So you can just make several rows of holes. Like I said, I don't need to be neat on this because this is just a temporary setup for something until I get what I really want to put it in. So easily put those holes in the side. I don't know if I can get the glare off there. My light's above me. Same thing on this side. I'm going to put the holes in. Soldering iron makes this so simple. It doesn't make the cleanest holes though. It does put that little bit of a bubble around it from the melted plastic. So it really kind of depends on how you feel about that. And then while I'm waiting for my glue gun to heat up, I'll go down the back, just like I do with my acrylic DIYs from the Hobby Lobby ones. Just not taking my time as much. There we go. Now when you're using a soldering iron, make sure you have a place to set it while it cools down or while it heats up. This one came with a stand. If it doesn't, make sure you have somewhere to set it on so that it's not going to catch anything on fire. Let's see how my glue gun's doing. Okay, hopefully this is ready now. Turn this bit out of the way. Just gonna put a bunch of it all the way around. There we go. I want to do this kind of quickly so that the soft plastic does not melt from the heat of the glue, which would be horrible. My glue gun doesn't want to sit. So put that on. There we go. I'm putting it on there to transfer some of the heat to the other plastic and it'll hold a little better. Okay, now that we have this on and it's cooled off a little bit, it's holding. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not holding very well over here. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more glue right on that corner so it'll hold a little better. And I'm going to, probably do the same thing over here just to make sure that I got a decent hold. Or you can put also a bead all the way around. I mean, if you're thinking about using this more permanent, it may be a good idea to just put it all the way around so you know that it's holding. Move it out of the way and push that down on there. Okay. Now let that dry. Let it cool off a little bit. And then you want to put your lid on. Now, before you put your lid on, you have to do the same things you did with the other DIY that I had, or else it won't open. So, you're going to want to cut a little notch out of it. Same as before. Hopefully you can see it. Just cut down. You can mark this if you want, just like you did the other one to make sure the height, but I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm not too worried about it. And then just cut in. So always make sure whatever you're cutting on to, you're not cutting into. I don't care about this. Is a table I use for craft stuff and all that. So same thing as I said before. You just cut that little section off right there. Do it on both sides. Try to keep it about even, you know, if you want. But I said this is not something I care about the aesthetics of too much. I just need it to house the spider or whatever it is for a week or so until I get something ordered or have a chance to go and pick it up and create my better enclosure. There we go. Now we have those cut off. You can test it, put it on there, set it on. There we go. And it should just be able to open. Okay. Now, what you want to do is tape. Said you can use clear tape, like the packing tape will work for temporary if you trust it enough. Some of these I know are really not the best. I would use duct tape if you have it. This is just stuff that I got from the dollar store. Mark it about where you want it, so you know, so it covers the whole thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my utility knife that I already have out to cut it. There we go. Try to get it as close as you can together so that none of the tape is there where they can stick their legs or anything to it, you know. So push that top down a bit. There we go. And make sure it sticks really well. Open this up. Make sure it gets on there really well. Huh. Look what I did. Well, I messed it up because I'm too busy making the video. I wasn't paying attention. So make sure when you glue your bottom on, you don't do what I just did. Oh, jeez. Anyway, I'm not really going to be using this. It's just for a demonstration. But now you have it. It will sit on the shelf like this. And if you want to put like some tape or something up here, you definitely can. For like a lock. So this is just trying for cheap. And now it's secure. Open it up. And it will open up. You can put your dirt in there, substrate in, put something up there for the hide. So like I said, just make sure you don't do the stupid thing that I did and put the air holes there. But then again, it's temporary. What do I care? I can just go ahead and punch a bunch of holes up here now. Put the dirt substrate down there. Who cares if some holes where the substrate is? It's just a temporary enclosure. But hopefully this will help you out if you're in a bind. You need something to put something in really quick, cheap. This cost me to make, because I already have most of the stuff sitting around. This is $1. The tape is $1. You'd have to get the dirt to put in there. I mean, this would be a less than a $10 enclosure, even for a bigger version of this. It's extremely cheap, and it works. It'll just sit there. So, opens it up. And then tape it. It's not getting out. Hopefully this will help somebody if you're in kind of a bind or something like that. Or like I said, if you really are on a budget and you want to get into the hobby a bit, I guess this would work. But it's not the safest thing. I would definitely find a better way to pin the top with like a nail like I did the other ones. Put a hole through it, put the nail so it's a good lock. But definitely glue the bottom if you're going to be using this as more of a permanent. Use duct tape if you're going to be using it as a permanent. But like I said, this is more of a suggestion for a emergency type of housing. Something I got real quick and I had to do that. So hopefully this helps you out. If it did, please like the video. If you enjoy my videos, my content, please subscribe. And if you have a better idea for this, you think there's something I missed, or you just want to make fun of me for putting the holes in the wrong place, please go ahead and leave a comment below. I'd very much appreciate it. And as always, thank you for watching.